Here we are, a little better than a week removed from the conclusion of Doctor Who Series 14 of the 15th Doctor's maiden voyage, and, well, we already know how it ended, cataclysmically. A total and complete failure. And even when you have Doctor Who specific websites destroying your content, you already know that it's not long in the tooth, okay? Empire of Death was abysmal, okay? Everybody who had something to say, even positive or negative in regards to this, all came around to the conclusion that Russell T Davies, he really doesn't know anything about Doctor Who anymore. And who was I listening to? I think it was Little Platoon. He was talking about it. Great YouTuber, by the way, if you don't know who I'm talking about. But this was in regards to, yes, Russell T Davies just not having it anymore, the creative spark for the different types of creatives. But he also drew it out even further in regards to creatives in general, in regards to them just not sending their mental best anymore, okay? Why is it so perplexing that, you have the likes of Stephen Moffat, Russell T Davies come back to the franchise and not really even come close to any of their highest highs from their previous tenure, when you can take a look at athletes that are out there, okay? As they age, are they as good as they were back in their 20s and 30s? Absolutely not. Musicians, they normally write their best material in their 20s and 30s, and just, I have them right in my eyesight whenever I record. The Stones, for every Bigger Bang album that comes out, they got the Blue Album. I didn't like that at all whatsoever. Same with Judas Priest, okay? Even though, their later output, you would have Firepower, which I think is a top 5, maybe even top 3. We'll go with top 5 for sure. Top 5 Priest album, and then they'll follow it up with something like Invincible Shield. It's fine. It's just generic as all hell, and doesn't come anywhere close to holding a candle to what they were putting out in the mid to late 80s, Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith. I like Ram It Down. Some people who are deaf don't, and the less said about Turbo, the better, even though it does have some very good harmonic guitar solos. But I can tell you, it's like, in general, he's 1000% correct. You don't need to go down the ideological pipeline and saying that, the woke mind virus has destroyed him. It's like, he's always been writing gay Doctor Who, having gay under and overtones and everything that he's written, that he was just a little bit more nuanced and knew how to weave it into a story better. One of the more classic examples is George Lucas. He had the idea for the Star Wars OT. He had a lot of help that time around, and when he was left unchained with the prequels, well, the prequels, even for the Defenders, they're a step down from the OT. But even still, okay, Russell T Davies' reboot of New Who as compared to what he's putting out right now, George Lucas, that's an embarrassment of a comparison, because this second time around is getting destroyed, okay? And that's just from the people who have seen it, who have terrible things to report on it. From all the Sutekh stuff to just the stupid swerve about Ruby Sunday's familial links. Nobody liked any of the crap, okay? That's just for people that are in the know, and as we've been able to figure out throughout this entire season, there are very few people that are actively in the know, as BBC refuses to acknowledge terrible Doctor Who ratings, instead boast that the series is their top drama for under 35s this year. Well, that's nice, okay? Even though the numbers clearly prove the fact that BBC is refusing to acknowledge that showrunner Russell T Davies' latest run on Doctor Who is an absolute ratings disaster. I mean, at least we live in a point in time where we can go ahead and look at the numbers, even with Russell T Davies coming out and saying, well, even though they're not at the levels that we want, they're still better than everybody else's. We've hit all of our goals, and people would kill for our ratings. Sure thing, RTD. To the surprise of very few, the decision by its cast and crew to use a British sci-fi series as a vehicle for overtly socio-political messaging was not, to say the least, a winning one. Yeah, of course. And even if it was as political as it ultimately came out being, if it was well written, people might be able to look the other way, because there's one show that's going on right now, House of the Dragon, that does have certain overtones, okay? They're trying to really push this message that, if it wasn't for those dastardly men, the realm wouldn't be at war right now. Well, if you take a look at the show in totality, it's kind of the women that are doing a lot of the decision making. And Rhaenys, I wouldn't be so quick to jump at that assertion, given what you did at the conclusion of the 9th episode of the first season. Okay, I'd go ahead and slow my roll on that one. Even with a few cringe lines, some things that I referenced, in season 1, I thought it's great. It's not perfect. There are some girl power messages that you just got to kind of roll your eyes at, but in general, it's a high quality show that is incredibly well written. That is not the same pleasantry that you can go ahead and extend to Doctor Who. As catalogued by UK television analytics firm Barb, across the 8 total episodes, the 15th Doctor's debut season only pulled in an objectively terrible average of 2 million overnight viewers, 3.5 million 7-day consolidated, the worst in the franchise's entire history. Oh yeah, brother, because again, we ran through all of those numbers and none of them were even approaching high level of positive record breaking, but there was a lot of negative record breaking, and especially when it came to the series conclusion. 2.25 million overnight, that is far and away the worst for a series finale. And while Bounding Into Comics has it as not reported for the 7-day, well, we got some numbers because I said, yeah, we're a week and change removed, okay? I'm recording this Monday evening, and we're still without the 7 days, but we got the 7+4, and they're still abysmally low, 3.69. Nice. That's the only time you can say nice in regards to these ratings, meaning that the 7+, it's going to be not the series low that you had for the part 1 of the finale, but if you just do some simple math and you take a look at what happens with those +4, I mean, you're probably looking at best 3.1. 3.12 puts it at the third worst 7-day of this already record low viewership season. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Despite it performing worse than the original series, season 26, whose ratings were so bad that it led to Doctor Who being put on ice for a full 16 years, the 8th Doctor's 1996 television film, being the franchise's only official screen production during that time. The latest Doctor Who season continues to receive the full support of the BBC's PR machine. Asked by UK news outlet The Times if they had any comment on the franchise's less than stellar ratings performance, a spokesperson for the state broadcaster asserted, "Overnight ratings no longer provide an accurate picture. Oh, don't pay attention to your lying eyes, pay attention to our lying voices. Of all those who watch drama in an on-demand world, the season of Doctor Who premiered on iPlayer nearly 24 hours before the broadcast, and episode 1 has already been viewed by nearly 6 million viewers. Trust us, bro, that's our source, and continues to grow." They added, "Doctor Who remains one of," that one of is doing a lot of heavy lifting right here, "one of the most watched programs on iPlayer and is BBC's top drama for under 35s this year." How many caveats do you need to explain away the ratings failure? Oh, trust us, bro, everything's great. The first episode that came out about 2 months ago has been viewed about 6 million. Is that a believable number? 6 million times. What about the rest of the season? Shut up. The first episode has been viewed just about 6 million times, okay? And it's one of our top dramas. A top dramas for under 35s. That's great. What's the other competition? Shut up. Making it one of the biggest programs for the demographic across all streamers and broadcasters. I mean, come on. You can go ahead and make these vacuous claims, these nebulous assertions, but men lie, women lie, companies lie, but numbers don't. It's bad. It's record lows bad. If this was a new show, okay, even with the ratings drop off towards the end of the season, that wouldn't be great at all. That's not a way that you'd want to end a season. But yeah, if this was a new show and you were pulling in 3 million +7s, that would be all right. That would get you to stick around for potentially another season. But this is Doctor Who. This is an institution. This is a British icon. You guys pissed it away. Good for you. Notably, the BBC's comments regarding Doctor Who's poor ratings echo those previously made on the subject by the aforementioned Davies. Met with the topic of the series' struggling performance while speaking to UK Entertainment's Radio Times magazine. The showrunner affirmed, "I'm very proud of the season thus far. You know, they might not be the ratings we'd love. We'd always want higher, but they are building over a 28-day period." There you go. Episode 1 is already up to 5.6 million and counting. He made those statements like about a month ago at this point in time. So you're telling me the BBC just coming out off the back of the finale, hey guys, like 6 million people have watched this, and a few weeks removed from that, 5.6 million people have watched? That's not exactly great growth, okay? All right. And I was brought back to bring in a youthful audience. And yeah, we're getting those under 35s. What's the demo? Shut up. We're getting them. Don't check our numbers because you can't. Continuing, Davies then posited, the audience no one ever gets is the under 30s. And yeah, we didn't either. They just don't watch television anymore. Right. That's when, okay, you could take a look at, because we just broke down a few numbers a couple of days ago in regards to The Acolyte. And, well, there's hundreds of millions of minutes being streamed out there for the likes of Bridgerton, a series that you guys copied in this season and then threw a big old interracial gay kiss over the top of and went, hey guys, look at how progressive we are. Why didn't anybody look? Well, you're just a bunch of bigots that went outside and touched grass instead of watching our super progressive show. But every single season of Bridgerton was outperforming the season that you have right here. Is one of your best performing dramas? I mean, come on, you're kind of telling us exactly what's going on here by saying it's one of our best performing, meaning that, yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all, because if it was the top performing, you would definitely be saying that. If it was breaking any positive records, you would be touting those. But no. It's nebulous demographics. It's these weird markers of success. Like over a month, people are checking out one episode. It's great. A lot of people are. Trust us. And yeah, people just don't watch television anymore. That's why I got brought in on a huge multi-million-dollar contract to write television, because nobody watches television anymore. All right. Current, per Davies himself, whether or not Doctor Who returns for another adventure is still up in the air. Yeah, it ended up getting commissioned for series 15. Okay, so the 15th Doctor is going to get a 15th series. But after that, well, RTD's writing it. But is anybody going to be picking it up? Is Disney going to go ahead and front another $100 million at a point in time where they're right now hemorrhaging money outside of Inside Out 2, breaking $1 billion, and the potentiality at this point of Deadpool and Wolverine also hitting those highs? You still got to look ahead to 2025 when Series 15 is going to drop, and you take a look at everything else that is dropping for Disney at that point in time. Brother, unless BBC is willing to back up the Brinks truck, or whatever the equivalent in pounds is over there across the pond, to foot the bill for one of their best performing shows in the under 35 demographic, yeah, cancellation for Doctor Who is very much on the horizon. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.